Welcome back, all you Fabricans and Fleshbags, to the super, not, funny show, reviews. I am Jen Thépuppét, your resident Fabricant and comment extraordinaire on all things pop culture. And today we're going to be reviewing episode 13, the season finale of Debris, coming to you from NBC, streaming on Peacock and on Hulu. So, was it good? Was it bad? And should you be watching? Stick around because I have opinions. Debris, episode 13, the season finale, entitled Celestial Body. And hey, it's all coming to a head, people. All the mysteries, all the mystery box elements, they're all leading up to this big moment. And there surely isn't going to be a cliffhanger because they're not looking to the next season, right? As we see. I want to say off the bat, this show started, it started kind of slow, struggled a little bit in my mind. Then it came around and had a really cool, coming together moment for the two main characters, Brian and Finola, and it got really good. And then we get to this episode, which is they call it a climactic finale. You know what? That's a little generous. That is a little generous. I wouldn't say climactic because it didn't feel like this was a climax to anything. This felt like it was a, hey, come back next season sort of situation. But to be fair, we do get some important reveals and everything like that. For instance, something that everyone should have seen coming from far away, but, maybe you didn't. I don't know. When we find out that, when they go and investigate this whole little piece of debris that is hypnotizing people and bringing them all together, and they're all connected emotionally. Why? First of all, why? I've been wondering this about a lot of the debris. What alien is designing this? I'm serious. Why would they make something that emotionally connects people? And why would it work on people? These are aliens. Why would it work on human beings? Are you saying that emotions and stuff are universal or something? I don't know. It's very weird, but it this piece of debris, it brings a lot of people together and keeps in a 20-mile radius. People keep coming around. They're all connected and everything. It's real dangerous. I get it. And George, he's like, this is the piece we're all been looking for. We need it so we can find all the other pieces of debris. Yeah. And in the meanwhile, the influx people are like, oh, we know where George Jones is. Let's go get him. And then there's some weird, I don't know. I want to call him a guy made of bees, but he's not. It's not bees. It's some weird matter or something. Who knows? That's apparently stalking George. And so in the midst of this whole debris event, trying to solve this problem, Influx shows up and we get new characters. So apparently some dude who's got some power to fold people up like they're a suitcase. I don't know. It's not very well explained. And to no one's surprise, if you're paying any kind of attention to this show, George Jones, surprise, he's not on the level. Who could have seen this coming? It turns out, he's the leader of Influx, and I'm sure, to be honest, I actually think he has some pretty decent ideas, at least a decent reasons for it. He knows the way this is going. This is a piece of, these are powerful objects. They're going to be used to be weaponized by, whoever has them, by whatever governments have them. They're going to be used to oppress people. And, sort of in an Eric Killmonger sort of way, decides, this should be out there for all the people should have this. It shouldn't be just for the powerful or whatever. And so, I guess it's democratizing the debris. That's the idea of Influx. Okay, all right, why not? I guess they're gonna have to murder people along the way to make it happen. But whatever, that's their idea. But again, no surprise. George is actually, he's in charge of Influx, and they've been, the way everything's been sort of playing out has been him taking advantage of his relationship to Finola to get things done for Influx. And he insists, hey, Finola, you should be here with me. And you know what? When we solve this whole debris event, Brian's probably going to lose his, he forced her to take a pill so that when they kind of overload the debris and break the whole control over people, it's going to mind wipe everybody. And, fuck Brian. He'll be all right. I mean, he wasn't that great a person before anyway. That's George's idea. And it's kind of messed up. He does a heel turn. That's what it is. But again, not surprising. It is surprising that Brian does survive this whole little thing. And Finola is like, no, I'm dedicated, to this mission. I don't think you're right. I'm not coming with you. Okay, sure, why not? And Brian, he survives. But the three influx people in George, they drive off, and they got this big piece of debris, and they got nefarious plans, and that's the cliffhanger for the rest of the for next season. And at the same time, in the kind of the B plot, you have Maddox, and Maddox is going through with the whole debris exchange deal with the Russians, and he sort of double crosses the female agent that he's working with, or at least he's like, come over to my side or I might have to kill you, but I'm still taking this debris. So Maddox isn't a traitor. He's not he has actually he's a personal reason for doing this debris deal, but he's not willing to actually give the Russians what they want. So he kind of double crosses. And then you also see that his wife continues to be, she continues to be guilt ridden and everything. And there's this, there's an intimation that she's gonna take pills so she can kill herself. But Maddox gets home and she's like, I almost did this, and he's like, great, it's a good thing you didn't do that, because check this out. And it turned out that the debris piece that he got from the Russians was to help his non-communicative son actually be able to talk again. And so all of that, therapy and whatever, wasn't wasted or anything. And so we see here kind of what George Jones is getting at, that the debris can be used to help people, that can be used to help humanity, and that people weaponizing it is kind of dumb. Where we see this bit of debris literally helps a non-communicative young man be able to talk again with his mom and to give her some peace and everything. So I think that was all really nice, the way they brought Maddox's character all the way around. He's not just some dude who he will murder you if he thinks he's doing the good thing, but he also is a family man, and he's not completely heartless and everything. And I think they've really softened the edges of him as an intelligence officer and as the leader of Orbital. And the fact that George Jones turned out to be not who he says he is also sort of softens him and Orbital and also MI6 and what they're trying to do. So it's all very interesting. Dramatically wasn't the best thing ever, but I will say it was well acted. I just think the material wasn't awesome. But I did like the episode. So those are my thoughts about this episode of Debris. I think not a strong season closer, but pretty good overall. And the season overall was pretty good too, except for like the missteps in the first half of the season. And so on that note, like I said, you should watch this. But on that note, we do find out that this is in fact the season or series finale, because Debris has not been picked up for a second season. That really kind of sucks to me, because I'm invested in the story. I want to see where this is going. It's got a good premise and everything. There's so many more things they could do with this. It could have gone on for season after season, with finding the pieces of Debris and all the weird shit that it does. But I think this is not an unexpected. This is not an unexpected outcome, considering the kind of the uneven nature of this show. This, how people in Hollywood, writers in particular, but showrunners, whatever, they need to take a lesson about shows like this. You have a mystery box show, you have a Mystery of the Week show, you have some kind of weird sci-fi stuff. You cannot slow walk this stuff. Yeah, slow walking is going to get you canceled. Like, the biggest problem I had with Debris, early on at least, aside from some weird characterization that made me kind of not like the main characters for a while, was also that they just slow walked all of the mystery stuff. And if you're gonna do that, at least make the the Mystery of the Week be super interesting. And it wasn't always. The slow walking of the plot, the main plot threads, was really kind of hamper that. You want people to be interested and to be engaged. So there's how to be really interesting characters, a really, interesting setup or premise. Week to week, the new characters that come in, they've got to be they got to be more vital than they have been. And the budget needs to be better on this. There was a lot of budgetary, obviously budgetary choices that were made. Not least of the fact of which is clearly their location scouting and everything was very limited and whatnot. They were shooting in the same general part of Canada. I get all of that, but there was just a lot of the uneven storytelling was what really was the problem. And this is and the main central plot threads, the central through lines that ran from episode 1 to episode 13 just weren't that compelling. It's just true. It just wasn't that compelling. The whole they teased this war between Influx and Orbital, and we barely see any of it. They teased this whole intelligence war between MI6 and Orbital, who are nominally working together, and there's not much to it. They tease all of that stuff, but they don't pay it off. It just They get caught up in doing the mystery of the week, and they don't actually move forward those little subplots that were actually interesting. So, just overall, I did like this show. I wish it had been better, and I understand why it got canceled. Just not quite enough there, and maybe they were gonna build toward more fun stuff or whatever, and maybe they can shop this around to a streamer or whatever, but this. It did not get renewed for a reason, and as sorry as I am to see it go, I completely understand why to do so. So, all right, well that's all my thoughts on Debris in general. This season finale, the final episode of this show. The show itself, it's not something I'm likely to revisit. So. But I'm glad I watched it, and I think that you might get something out of it. If for nothing else, it's just 13 episodes, so you'll be done. Okay. Anyway, what did you guys think about my review and my commentary? And what did you think about this episode? Why don't you get down in the comments? Let me know what you're thinking. And while you're at it, you can also hit me up, supernotfunnyshow@gmail.com or at supernotfunnys1 on Twitter. I'm always happy to hear and talk about this show and any other upcoming shows. Just when we get there, we'll chop it up. And hey, are you a member of the Super Not Funny Show family? What? You're not? Well, hey, get down there, hit that subscribe button. And while you're at it, you can also hit that notification bell. It'll let you know when we drop new content. And we're doing that every week. New reviews and new reactions. Anything else that floats our pop culture boat, like the Super Not Funny Show Supercast, in which I and my friend Lottie, we sit and talk about superhero stuff in popular media. It's a real fun time. You can go check that out. All right, all you Fabricans and Fleshbags, thanks once again for joining us, for joining me on this, the final review of NBC's Debris. Until next time, I've been Jen Thépuppét, your resident Fabricant and commenter extraordinaire on all things pop culture. And I'll see you guys on the other side of the thread. Peace.